What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, YouTube boxing community? I was looking at a lot of videos earlier on today. Shout out to Blood Boxing. Shout out to D Block Express. Shout out to Rilo Jenk. 78 Fight News. Shout out to all the YouTube boxing community. This is a nice little debate. But just like Rilo Jenk said, man, I'm kind of confused. From what I remember, this debate started because of what Floyd Mayweather said. And from what I can remember, I don't ever remember him saying he had the better legacy of all time, the best legacy of all time. From what I remember him saying he was the best fighter of all time. That's what he thought he was, the best fighter of all time, which would mean skill-wise. I mean, if that's what I remember, then this debate has switched from one thing to another. You know what I mean? And I do believe the pound for pound was also an issue. The pound for pound debate, which pound for pound really means without weight, somebody who is the best fighter without including weight, skill wise. All right. Take away weight, pound for pound. If they were naturally the same size as you, if they were naturally the same size as everybody else, who would win? Who would have the better skill to win? You understand? That's what pound for pound really means. All right. So I don't know how this debate changed from Ray Robinson fought 200 guys. That has nothing to do with pound for pound. That has nothing to do with who's a better fighter. That's just a resume. That's just how many people you fought. That has nothing to do with that. Or Floyd Mayweather fought this many people. It has nothing to do with none of that. It's about who's the better fighter. Because if I remember correctly, I mean, y'all could come in and tell me I'm wrong if I am. I mean, I will accept me being wrong. I will take it in. I mean, if I remember correctly, he didn't say anything about his legacy. He said he was a better fighter, and it seems like the conversation switched when skill came into play. The conversation had to be switched so that one side could find a reason to win the debate. I don't know. I just me. That's how I see it. But to me, in my era, when I started watching boxing, to me, the best skilled fighter, pound for pound, no matter what pound you was in, I don't care if anybody hates me for this. I don't care what anybody says. Is Marvin Hagler, boy. When it comes to skill, Marvin Hagler could do it all. I don't know. I think Floyd is right up there with him. But I don't know between those two who I would pick. Marvin Hagler was one of those fighters, man, who could do anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my favorite. I'm just allowing my emotional ties to say this. My emotional connection to Marvin Hagler. Really in all debate, if I was gonna bet my money, I'll put my money on Floyd. No joke, I'll put my money on Floyd. Because one thing people need to realize is that when you're having debates, your emotional connection to certain things, you got to cut that off. Just like gambling. I gamble. It's like you need to cut that off. Cut that emotional connection to whatever fighter you have off, and base it on what you see, what you see in front of you, the skill set. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if you go ahead and say Julio Cesar Chavez, who had a bunch of fucking guys on his resume, do you honestly believe Julio Cesar Chavez is pound for pound over Floyd? Do you honestly believe Julio Cesar Chavez is the better fighter? You gotta really think about these things. And from what I remember, I do not remember him saying he was the legacy king. He had the best legacy. Nope. From what I remember exactly, he said he was a better fighter. He was the best fighter. He was the best fighter. He was better than Muhammad Ali. He was better than Sugar Ray Robinson. In all reality, man, if you really think about it, some people that were beating Muhammad Ali were not as skillful as Floyd. If you really think about it, they didn't have the defense, the punch accuracy that Floyd Mayweather had. In all honesty, if you really think about it, imagine those two were the same size. That's what pound for pound really is. Same size people. Regardless of size, just take away size and weight and put the skill on the table, that person will beat anybody in whatever weight class if size don't matter. Pound for pound. Obviously, we know Sugar Robinson can't beat no heavyweight. He cannot go up there and beat no Jack Johnson or no Ray Lewis in his prime. We know he can't beat no Rocky Marciano. We know he can't beat these guys if he was to move up there and try to fight them. It would be impossible. All right, but pound for pound, if the weight does not matter, when weight class is taken out, when there's no more weight, skill for skill, pound for pound, who is the best fighter? Who has the best skill set? You understand? So, if I'm not mistaken, legacy was never the issue for these debates. I mean, most people were talking about it was cool, but until he said he was this and Sugar Ray Robinson, look at Sugar Robinson's record, look at it. No, that's not. You switched it up to a whole different debate. Is he better skill-wise? We're not talking about how people he fought. If that was the case, man, think about it. The eras that have changed, man. There's no fighter going out there getting 200 fights. No fighter going to get 150 fights. Why is that not happening? Because fighters are being protected. The maximum amount of fights you can have a year is 5. If I remember correctly, because I don't go to the gym anymore. I don't fight anymore. I don't know what the situation. I remember it was to be 5 fights a year. I don't know if the rules have changed, but it used to be 5 fights a year. You can't have more than that. So I don't know. That's like a rule. That's like a rule in boxing. You cannot have more than that. So there's no fighters going out there having 200 fights. You know what I'm saying? 190 fights, 150 fights. That's not happening anymore. So that stacking resume, and how many fighters you fought, that does not have nothing to do with skill set and who's the better fighter and who would win pound for pound without weight. That has nothing to do with none of that. Alright? So I'm wondering, if you guys want to talk about resumes, who has a better resume, that's a whole different topic. That's a whole different topic. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole different topic. Believe me, Rocky Marciano has a crazy resume. He has a crazy even though he fought a lot of old people. But he has a good resume. But do you believe Rocky Marciano will beat Mike Tyson? Are you serious? Do you really believe so? Seriously. Seriously. A short, fast, moving Mike Tyson was the prime Mike. I'm talking about the one that was bobbing and weaving all the time. Doing that when he used to sit there and do like 300 squats while bobbing and weaving, training. That the animal Mike. You really believe that? Come on, man. Do you really truly believe that some of these fighters, some of these old heavyweights, with all these crazy stack resumes, could beat a Lennox Lewis? One thing I realized, man, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, nobody gives credit to, Lennox Lewis, man. Do you really believe some of these fighters would beat Lennox Lewis skill-wise? You gotta. I mean, just because you have a stacked resume does not mean you fought everybody and anybody. You fought everybody and anybody. That's a matter of heart and a matter of what you need, like your funds. Like if you don't have enough money when you fight 4 times, you need to fight 15 times to make enough money to survive. That's on you. That's nothing to do with just pound for pound. If you fight 55 people a year, fighting through injury, that has to do with heart. That's nothing to do with being pound for pound. You could fight the whole boxing lineup, all of boxing's lineup from lightweight to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? You could fight everybody. That has nothing to do with boxing skill or who's better. It just has to do you fighting. It has to do with your resume and how many people you fight. That's just a number. That has nothing to do with skill. You understand? That's just like you stacking your. Look at Canelo Alvarez, who fought like how many times in the amateurs? Do you think because he fought all those people in the amateurs, you think that makes him a better fighter than Lara? Do you think so? No, I don't think so. Skill wise, I think Lara would beat him. But that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know how this debate switched from who's better, who is pound for pound, without weight, who has a better. That's what pound for pound is. When weight is not included. Because if weight is included, then Sugar Ray Leonard would not win against guys like Rocky Marciano, against certain big guys that would hit him twice and would literally break him. You know what I'm saying? So when weight is not included, all right, when weight is not included, who is better? Who is the better fighter? That's what pound for pound really is. If they were the same size and they were all had the same weight, you know, who would win? You know, that's what that is. But I don't know. This debate switched from who's better, pound for pound, to legacy and resume. You know, that's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying, it's like taking another sport. It's like stacking from soccer. It's like stacking Pele's legacy to Ronaldo legacy, Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with it. Pele was great. Yeah, he was. But in all reality, these guys are better. Let's face it. I mean, he was great for his time. He was great. Well, he played all these games and did all these things. But in all reality, these new guys are better, man. You know what I'm saying? They're better. And you have to. There's a difference. You have to see the difference between a stacked resume, you know, and something that has to do with how much heart a fighter has, and pound for pound, and who's a better fighter. All right. Not saying that just because somebody's a better fighter, they would always win. How many times have we seen a fighter that has a better skill set get hit by a flush shot and get knocked the fuck out? That's boxing. It happened. But what I'm saying is this debate started from Floyd Mayweather saying that he was a better fighter than Sugar Ray Robinson, and from there it switched from there to pound for pound, and then it went straight to legacy. So please, like Ronald Jinx said, please clarify what we're talking about here. All right. Well, by the way, man, I love these debates. I love these things, and they're great. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me because I said I think Marvin Hagler is the pound for pound best. That's my favorite fighter, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, leave your comments. Say what you gotta say. Hopefully, you brothers can clarify what the debate is about. You know. Shout out to all you brothers out there on YouTube. Let's keep the videos coming. It's a great debate, man. Once we clarify, it'll be even better. All right, I'm out.